this? Okay, so tonight we are talking about enrollment conversations that feel human. Um, so we're going to be guiding people instead of pouncing on them, which is a concept that you all on this call know very well, and we all believe in this, and yet we all do it. We all keep reverting back to the same old thing. So I want to introduce a process to you. So this is a step-by-step version of a process, a system that you can use to bypass that automatic default way that we do things. And what do I mean by that? So I don't know how I change slides on this one. How do I go? Okay, so, well, first of all, what is an enrollment conversation? Does anybody want to chime in what you think an enrollment conversation might be or how it might happen?
Organically.
Organically, like how? Like, give me a little scenario.
Um, well, assuming they already know something, right? Maybe they've been exposed to a meeting or have expressed an interest or something like that. It might just start with, well, how are you doing with your decision? Or, I mean, that's not the first thing you'd say, obviously, to somebody. When you sit down with them, you're going to be checking in with them personally and how things are going for them. And just, maybe at some point when it feels organic, you might ask them, well, how are they feeling with their decision? Where
So
are they?
that's so good, Kim, and you're right on track. And you're farther down the road, I think, than where I'm going to start, which
Hmm.
is um, an enrollment conversation. Yeah, Sheila, you're muted.
There's two different ways I come to that conversation. When I listen to somebody that says it seems like having a side gig extra job would help them, or they're unhappy with where they're working and they're just doing it. And I go, have you ever considered, being in business for yourself, and go from there? There's also lately, I've had a couple people that I just really like their energy. And I just say to them, I'd love to be in business with you. Have you ever thought about, having your own business? I said, I'd like your energy. And they don't know anything about the product I'm in, but I would love them to be part of my team. So I start the conversation about, linear pay and networking and have they ever considered, having something on their own, and then say, this is a product I have that really turned my head around, and this is why I like this. And can I give you some information on that? So that's kind of, to me, an enrollment conversation because I'm looking for them to be business partners.
Oh, I love that too, Sheila. That's so good. And that's true. So this applies to any type of offering that you have, not just the product, not just the business. Maybe you like Tracy doing your coaching or Kim, maybe like neurofeedback. Like this could apply to all of those things. And huh? What, Carrie?
I said, I'm so sorry. My phone started ringing. I didn't
Oh, no
silence it.
worries. No worries. So what we're talking about when we say enrollment conversations is the time from when someone expresses some sort of interest, whether it's online or in person, where you get that glimmer, or they raise their hand in some way, and then you have that next step, kind of that next, okay, now I have to actually talk to them. or I have to actually send them a message or something like that. And so that is the point that we're talking about this enrollment conversation. And as you guys know, like one of the things that we really despise about this industry or about like sales in general is the feeling that we're being pushy, that we're don't actually care about somebody's interests, that we are, being self-serving instead of serving others, and that we have our own interests at heart instead of theirs. And so all of those things are things we completely want to avoid. And the way that we do that sometimes is almost counterintuitive because we we want to help them so much, like we just want to help. We want to give them all this information. We want to do all this convincing. We want to, show them like, and we want to do a really, really good job of all of that. So we we tend to overwhelm. We tend to send too many links. Tend to talk about what we feel and what we think before we learn what they. Hopefully that's not your new awesome dishware, Sheila.
It's plastic. It's my trailer plastic ones.
Okay, good. I saw you unwrapping these beautiful things and I was like, oh, how exciting, a new dish set. So in this enrollment, we are here, and you guys know this, we're here to listen, we're here to serve, we're here to be curious. And we're going to dive into it a little bit more of like, what does that actually mean? So people make decisions based on fear. That is a motivator, right? They're afraid of what might happen if they don't make a change. They're afraid of getting worse. They're afraid of like, and we have to have that fear be, they have to verbalize the fear themselves, right? We can't tell them what their fears are. We can't tell them what their pains are. They actually have to have that be brought out of them in order for them to make a decision to move from where they are now, which is stuck, right? They're stuck and lost, and they have to get to a place where the choice and the value of making a decision outweighs the fear of just staying where they are. So we have to get them to be telling us, what's going on with them. And so let's say somebody reaches out to you from a Facebook post and they're like, Sheila, what are you talking about? I want to learn more about that. And you say, oh my gosh, yes, I've got the solution for you. Let's get on a call. And then you go into all the solutions that you have for them, why it's so awesome, all this stuff. They have no connection to their own fear, to your product or your business or whatever, right? Can you guys see that? We also have to have the hope, right? We have to have the, wow, if I commit to this and I make this investment in myself, then I have the opportunity to have this dream come true. So they're kind of two different aspects that we want to help them come to on their own before we ever even offer the solution. So this is kind of like Kim was saying, when you got on a call with somebody or you start to have this conversation, there's kind of a flow to it. So you'd probably start with like the easy stuff, like little, the connection piece, the catching up, the how are you doing, all of that stuff. They obviously know that they're coming, that you have something for them. So you can say, hey, I have something for you, but I really want to be able to guide you the best way possible. So let's tell me more, about what's going on with you, or what made you respond to my Facebook post, right? And so you're asking them some kind of question that is going to allow them to open up and start to share about that thing, whatever it might be. Whether it's time, it's money, it's their knees hurt, it's they have no energy and they don't want to get out of bed. It could be whatever. But you're driving into how they feel, what's going on, what makes them want to make a change. Then we have um, kind of the struggles of like, okay, well, what's stopping you from fixing this problem? Or what have you tried? What are the steps that you've already taken? And what's the struggle in that? Right? So then they're saying, oh my gosh, well, I've tried this, I've tried that, blah, 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 all this stuff, which most of us have, right? So we can understand that. And then we get to the dream part, like, well, what if you were able to achieve this result? How would that feel? And we help them get to that dreaming place. And then at the end, there is a very clear, like, we may not be able to help everyone, right? Like, we believe that, of course, protein every mammal on the planet needs, but maybe that's not actually what the solution is for them. Most of the times it probably would be, right? Like a healthy glow stack is going to help everybody. But um, then you can say, after hearing what you've talked about, this is what I have to offer. And because they've already talked themselves into all of that stuff, when you offer this solution that is in alignment with that, they are going to be able to opt into it from a place of their own accord instead of us trying to influence them, right? And what that does is, retention is such a big thing for us. Like, if people only were fully educated or fully understood what we have because of how it solves their problems, they would stick with it forever. But because we miss that piece sometimes because they don't connect in their mind what they're solving and the fear and the dreams that they have to our product, it's easy to just write it off and try something else, move on to the next thing. So, in your mind, I want you guys to go to the last person that you talked to about either the business or the products. And how quickly did you jump from them being interested in whatever way, like saying, oh my gosh, I got to learn about that, or oh my gosh, I might need that, whatever, to telling them details about the product or the solution? How fast did that happen in your mind, like on a scale of 1 to 10? And if you feel brave, you can share with us. Because I know, like for me, it's very easy to go, oh, yay, somebody's interested, and then jump right to like being able to help them with the solution very quickly, right?
Are you asking in our mind, or how fast did we actually do that?
Well, Susan, how fast on the last person that you had,
Oh my
or
God.
in the past, has it been?
Fast. I've been fast these days. And it wasn't pushing. It's just I don't know what's happening. I mean, I guess I do know what's happening, but yeah. But it's not like it used to be. Like, I feel like it's authentic. My situations, and the conversations that we have just seem to be flowing, and they're authentic. I'm not pushing, but the people that I'm coming in contact with right now, not every single person, of course, but the one that I enrolled yesterday, the one that I'm enrolling tomorrow, they want this. I'm not pushing, I'm sharing information because they have an issue. And it happens to be, I guess, everything's falling into place with these particular people.
Well, in those particular people, you are having a lot of that conversation before you're actually presenting the information, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you want specifics so that it makes more sense?
Not exactly. I guess what I'm saying is most of us, you've evolved to such a high level, but most of us are jumping so quickly from um, because we feel excited, because we feel like a little bit of pressure, to get the person or whatever, that we skip this part. We skip the questioning part and the really diving in and having them tell us what's going on with them. And not just one time, but kind of repeating it and diving deeper into it. Now, this isn't always possible, but if somebody signs up to have a chat with you about what you're doing, there's a different energy between saying, before I offer you, before I show you what I have for you, I want to first like make sure that I am like 100% clear on how you're feeling or what's going on or that I understand the situation, right? So that I can make sure that what I have is perfectly in alignment with you, right? So, here are some kind of the beginning questions. Let's say
Can I just say, I see Susan and Kim next to each other, and I'm reminded of the story you shared, Susan, when you rushed out and said to Kim, "You've got to look at this." And you had no idea what was going on with Kim. And Kim took the ball and looked at it herself. And that was excitement. And you rushed out just sharing what you had. So it works without a big conversation. You jumped right out. And that was
It,
years ago.
yeah, it really depends. I mean, that it really does depend. You can't
So
do
it
that with
works a lot of ways.
it worked for us, didn't it, Kim?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I was very mo with the I they we used to talk about this back when we first got started, and we called that high noon. I was at high noon, right? I was ready for anything that came along that might help me at that time. Susan didn't know that. She just
Hey,
happened to stumble into it and save my life because of it. So, that possibility always exists, but it again, you have it's and the other thing that was going on is I was walking into my doctor's office on my way to an appointment, so I had a very small amount of time. And she was coming from her office to tell me about it and really wasn't supposed to be doing that. So we both of us had a very little minuscule amount of time and we made the most of it.
now part of why that worked though, if I correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, is that Susan had influence. Like
Right,
she was somebody you trusted. She was somebody that you knew was a highly trained professional.
yep,
You had a level of respect for her. It wasn't like some rando coming off the street, like
right,
throwing her card at you and being like, "You have to watch this video." Like
yep,
you knew Susan, you had respect for her, she had influence. And that was part of why you were willing to trust her in 30 seconds instead of a
right.
30-minute conversation.
Yeah, so all of that went into it. And she did hand me a card. And on the card was the ABC.com video, the Primetime Investigative Report video, and a link to that, and also the link to PubMed.gov. And she said, "You need to check this out," and handed it to me and basically walked away because she didn't have any more time than that. And because of all that background information and all that timing, and my being at high noon, I just said, okay, yeah, I'll do that. I went into my doctor's appointment, and the first thing I did when I got home was sat down and looked at those two links. So,
Let me ask you, Kim, when you're saying you were at high noon, how aware were you of your fear?
Oh, I was very
Fears.
aware of my fear. Yeah, my fear was high.
So
Mhm.
your fear was high that if you didn't find a solution, if you didn't find something, that something really bad was going to happen.
Yep. Yeah.
So in a
For me, it
way,
was,
like you had already done, were already having this internal conversation with yourself, and you were hyper aware of that, whether or not Susan knew that, you had that awareness. And
right.
so when she presented the offer, it was like, I see that could be a solution.
Yeah, I might have been right in the middle of my decision to quit the chemo. No, that would have been a year later, actually. That would have been a year later. But I was definitely wanting to.
So you weren't like, oh man, I'm feeling awesome. I'm like
Yeah,
on
no,
top of the world. Like shit is going good. And like I'm
yeah.
just going in here and this like crazy Susan, she just ran out here and told me like it wasn't,
I was
you weren't,
highly motivated,
yeah, you were already highly motivated and you were
highly
highly
motivated.
aware of these fears and you knew what you wanted.
Yeah,
And
and just to
so,
emphasize that, when I saw the product, it was like I have absolutely nothing to lose. And I bought the biggest pack we had, which at the time was a pack of what was it, 10 bottles of Nerf 2. That was all we had, and it was the biggest pack we had. And I just decided I was all in. And really, for me, in the beginning, it was about the health journey. It wasn't until a little bit later when I started getting it on board and started feeling better that I started really getting interested in becoming more involved with the community.
yeah,
So whatever that's worth.
it was pretty quick though, really.
It was very quick. Yeah.
All right, gosh, it's crazy how that just seems like yesterday. Um, so here, if you want to screenshot this or whatever, and when you look at these on paper, they look like generic questions, but if you were really in a conversation with people and you were, you know, actually having a genuine interaction, you probably wouldn't word some of these like this, but you guys get the idea. Is that these are really important to know whether you're talking to them about business, Sheila. Like when you're like, oh my gosh, I'd love your energy and I'd love for you to be in my business. Where are they on the scale of high noon? You know, like like maybe they're putting on that happy face at wherever they are and they hate serving. They can't serve one more friggin' cup of coffee, without ripping somebody's head off because they're so tired and sick of it and they've got people at home to take care of and like all these things, like so there's like the surface level of like, oh my gosh, like this would be so awesome. But then there's like what's actually going on with them, you know? And do they want, like, is it in alignment with what they want? You know? I can think of a lot of people I'd love to have in my business, but then I don't, probably not willing or wanting to do the stuff that we do. Some of them.
But, but you don't know if you don't ask. And some people have never thought of one of the women today. She's out of the service and she's working as an EMT volunteer. And I said, what else is there with your time? And she never heard of network marketing the way I could explain it to her. And she says, oh, and we didn't make a decision at all, but she listened. She said she would listen to the ABC video and follow from there because she's just not sure where she wants to go and what she wants to do. And I said, this is another quiver that you might have to share. And then I guess you always hear them say, if not you, like Tara says, there's always ask for a referral. Maybe
Right.
this isn't your cup of tea, but somebody who really is looking for a part-time job.
So to elevate that process that you're going through, Sheila, what I would say is this is where you could insert some of this exploration with her. You could say, hey, it was so fun getting to meet you. I can't wait till we can get together again. Do you want to meet for coffee on Friday, right? And then when you actually meet for
Mhm.
coffee, instead of just diving right into showing her the ABC prime time, maybe you take some time to actually go through some of this so that you can get to know her on a deeper level, and then she is primed for your what you're going to offer, you know?
Mhm.
So, uh, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this one, this is dream identifying questions. So maybe that woman has been working in that same place and she has all these fears of like, I don't know how I'm going to do anything different if I keep working here. You know, I have kids that have to go to college, or I have, something coming up, or I have these medical bills, or I still can't pay off my student loans, or I'm, feel like I'm wasting my life because I have all this potential and all this great energy, but like I'm here working in a restaurant. And then having her paint the picture of like what her life would look like possibly if things changed. And then when you're able to show how that connects to network marketing, it's like 100 times more powerful.
Mhm.
That's very good. Yes. I would tell you that my last meeting was last week, and I had the meeting the week before, and she canceled on me and then rescheduled. And um, she was coming to me because she was inquiring about the MB system. And she had told me last spring, uh, or last fall, excuse me, Karen, when you get back, I want to get with you and start this program that you were talking about, because I had put something on Facebook. So we were at a banquet at the time, and I said, "Oh, well, let me know if you have some questions before I leave for Arizona." And she said, "Okay." So we talked on the phone, and she says, "I can't start now." She had just lost her daughter in uh, she had a brain aneurysm, and it was way too early for her to go, but it was like, she was traumatized by all that, and she's, I couldn't do anything right now, but I know that I need to do something and I want to. And I said, well, I understand, your timing is important. So, I'll check back with you. How long will it be that you feel like you want me to check in with you? And she said, I don't want to talk this whole winter, just when you get home next spring. So I reached out to her in the spring, and we made an appointment, and she canceled, and then wanted to make the next one. So our visit was very, very enjoyable. And I asked her a whole lot of questions about her you know, dealing with everything in her association with uh, dieting before, and all the things that she brought up. I just kind of carried on with the conversation that she gave me. And then I kind of took over with questions and tried to learn more about her needs. And then I said, what would you like to know about our product and other products that we have? So she told me, and I just went through, I was prepared. So I went through some stuff, and everything was great until she said, I'm going to stop you. How much would this cost me? And I said, well, what are you talking about it in specific? Like the MB program, or the collagen and the NRF2. She goes, well, let's talk about the MB program. And so I told her, and she goes, oh, I can't do that. Just mark that off. There's no way I can pay that much. I just could never pay that much. I don't make enough money. And I said, well, um, if it's something that you want real bad, maybe we can talk about a way that you can earn it by, working the business, if you're interested in something like that. Because she cleans homes. She's a house cleaner, and she's my age. And she said, "Oh, no, I can't. I don't want to do anything like that. I want to be grandma, and I want to be healthy, and I want to lose some of this weight, but I had no idea it would be that expensive." And so it was uncomfortable at the time, but I just listened to her and I talked, about what was important to her and that, she's got good information and she can think about it and ponder. And if she has any other questions, to ask me. And I said, I'll give you some information. I'd already given her the ABC uh, video information, and she had watched that and she understood kind of what I was about. And um, everything that my hopes were um, in preparing for her went well. I think I covered all the bases there, and I felt like she just wanted to drop the ball. And then I had asked her when she arrived if she would like to have something to drink, and I said, would you like to try one of our Axios? And she goes, I would love that. So she was drinking that, and she goes, I love this. What does it cost to get some of this, or how does it come to you? So we explained that. So then I gave her one of each flavor. And she told me that she would get back to me, and I said, okay. And she has not. So I said, if I don't hear from you, is it okay if I call you? And she goes, yeah, please do. And so I haven't called her back yet because I was thinking of how much time we had between times. So um, it was the money, and it was uncomfortable after that, but I just carried on because I know how to do that. And I know her socially a little bit. Our husbands work together, and I see her at ball games and different things in the community, but not a lot. So that was my experience, and I wish I would have had this information to maybe use a few more tools here. Um,
Well, and as you like, we all learn every conversation that we have, we learn something, right?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and you can't change the fact that there are going to be people that just physically cannot afford to purchase these, right? Like that's
right.
a reality and you can't change that. But then there are also the people that if their pain and their fear outweighs the cost, right? Like if you are physically unable to play with your grandkids because you feel so crappy,
Hmm.
it might be worth it,
And
right?
I did bring that up to her. I said, nothing says that you have to do it forever, if you reach your goals and you learn some good habits and it helps you get started. We talked about that. We talked about,
Right.
um, not, it's going to cost you somewhere.
Right.
Maybe, paying for something like this that is backed by science and very, very
Well,
good,
what I'm
and I went
saying,
that
Karen,
route.
no, before we go too far, is that instead of you telling her that
Mm-hmm.
at after you've presented, if
Mm-hmm.
she has already come to that conclusion before you have the offer.
Yeah.
It's so clear to her that she would pay $10,000 a month to feel amazing because where she is right now sucks so bad that she's unwilling to put up with it anymore. Like that's very extreme, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
And she was not. She was not. She wanted to, but she was not at the end of
she
her
wasn't
rope.
in that much pain,
Yeah.
right? About it.
Mhm. Yeah, she's still a beautiful person and looks a little overweight, but
Yeah. She
not,
wasn't really suffering.
no, no.
Yeah. And so there's going to be that place she wasn't really at high noon, you know?
Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question?
Hmm.
Did I miss it? Did you offer Nerf 2?
Oh, yeah, we talked about the project's
Just the Nerf 2.
products and yeah, I
Just the Nerf.
did. And about her overall health and all that because she was telling me all in the beginning all about her health and all the things that she had gone through this last year and how she was a mess. And I asked her a lot of questions about her, what she used, what she has done so far. Has she done medical stuff yet? And she gave me all that information. So I use that to move into what our products are and what we're about. Talked about oxidative stress and how that would help. And I feel like she had a good understanding, you know.
So Karen, it sounds like you did amazing. And
Mhm.
there was, it's not to say that having this type of conversation is going to like yield 100% results all the time, but I just want us to be aware and
Mhm.
confident in leading a conversation with somebody and being able to not just rely on the information, not just rely on the studies, not just rely on the videos, rely on the fact that you care about deeply about people and allow them to go on the journey and choose in for themselves.
Yeah.
And it may not be right now, right? It may not be today, but they're going to feel honored. They're going to feel like you care. They're going to feel like they can come back to you when they are ready. Or if they choose opt in, it's because they truly see it as a solution for themselves, which means that they're going to stick with it longer and they're going to be more committed. So it's just something to just be aware of in our process. And when the next person who reaches out to you, like in a Facebook Messenger or on a post or that you run into in the grocery store, just check in with yourself and say, is it possible that I could set up this process so that I could ask them these questions so that I could start to be really good at bringing out these things for people? Like think of it like you're like a, leader in curiosity, right? And not annoying, like, but like an actual serving and actual caring. Kim?
I was excited though.
I
I was let down, I have to say, but I was excited that she was pursuing it. So, you would think that that's a foot in the door. And for me, I was thinking that, but I prepared and I shared, I dialogued with even Kim about it because we had talked about something, I forget what, and she brainstormed with me, and so I felt confident going into this. And and like everyone, I suppose you feel disappointed, but I did leave her with an open door, and I gave her product, and I do have another follow-up with her. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, and
I'm
so you
I'm
you did serve her,
yeah.
and that was your job. That's our job, is to be of
Mhm.
service. And you did a great job of that. And so the job isn't to sign people up. The job is to be in service.
Yeah.
And when we do that, the right people are going to come along and we will be solving their problems when it's their
Thank you.
right time.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as we think about, I wanted that person, I darn it, like, oh man, I didn't get them, is that we kind of switch back over to the not serving. And if we can just lead with that, it's all going to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kim?
So I was just going to say that, Ri-Fi always used to say, go slow to go fast. And just remember that, we're, like you said, this is a journey. This is a process. It's not an end game, right? And so, if you want to sort of break it down, we're kind of filling a pipeline full of people who may at some point be interested in what we're doing. And over time, people start to come through it and opt in.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, we continue to just keep filling the pipeline, right? It's like Tracy had a gal that came to her meeting that we'd met and talked with 4 or 5 times before, and we may talk to her some more. I think what was the number? Oftentimes, it takes 7 to 8 touches to get people, to a point where they're ready to actually take some kind of an action. So, um, it's really never over. I mean, we're building relationships, we're establishing relationships, we're being of service, we're making an impact. We're making an
Starting the
impression.
conversation.
Yeah, we're making an impression. We're starting a conversation that's going to last, hopefully. And
Mhm.
at some point, hopefully, they'll opt in and they'll find out exactly what it is that we've been talking about. And then they'll get to decide if they want to just be on the health journey with us or if they want to join the community and be an active member of the community. So I actually was at the very beginning of this, I was thinking about what would I say about that if I was sitting down and meeting with somebody. And I guess I'm thinking of you, Tracy. Maybe one of the things, a question that came to mind was, have you given any more thought to how involved you'd like to be with our community? Right? And that's not a head-on question. It's an opportunity to give people a chance to open up about what they're thinking about.
Yeah.
And Jennings, are you gonna post your slides under files on
I
Facebook?
can. I
Team
can.
Wildly Healthy, that would be great. I think that would be helpful.
And I'll just put another plug in for this Gamma app. Gamma
Gamma.
dot app. It's pretty cool. You just put in
I
a
think
little
we,
outline and then it makes your slides for you.
oh,
Gamma dot app.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
GAMA or two M's?
two M's.
cool. I'm not sure I heard you mention that before.
She did.
I might have
Been a
missed it.
while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So many good tools out there. So does anybody have anything else they want to
I have a question.
share? Yeah.
Um, I received my order and it's kind of messed up. I'm befuddled by it because it's never been this much messed up before. Um, so I'm gonna have to talk to someone tomorrow. And I was wanting to order some other things, a couple other things, and then my friend Shelley wanted to order some things. Um, and so I was trying to put those orders in, and I tried again today, and I put new order so that it's in this month, and it won't let me go forward to complete the order.
Can
So
I?
Susan can help me maybe
I
later.
was just gonna say that. Did you
Yeah,
forget about me, Karen?
yeah, but
I'm your go-to helper, remember?
yeah, and so
Call
I
me
just wonder if
tomorrow
anyone else
morning.
has had any mixed up orders.
Call me tomorrow morning and I can help you.
Yeah, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Thank you. But
Okay.
has anyone else had any messed up orders? No, like I ordered
I've noticed.
two boxes of collagen. We only got one. I ordered
Okay.
two of some stuff and I only got one.
We'll call about it tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And is this
Karen,
Yes.
that happened to me too. That we put the order and it said on the paper that two were sent, but only one showed up. We
Yeah.
called and they sent it back out.
Yeah.
is it
Okay.
okay if I say something about
Sure.
the end of the month? Here we are again. Is this okay? It's another end of month. And oh, hello. And I have been doing my usual, and I know who's so many points away from the next gem status. And if you're not and you want to know, you can check in with me. I don't know if you guys know, I came out of retirement, so I'm working, and I'm working tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's the last day of the month, and I'm on East Coast time, but I am available in the morning, which would be really early for you guys. But I think you can, or text me tonight if you want to find a time to talk really quickly tomorrow, or I can even tell you where you are, how far. If you don't know, or you don't know how to find it, I'd love to show you.
You're
Because there's a
very
few
helpful.
people on this call that are not too far from the next gem.
Okay. I'll
Which
talk to
means
you in the morning.
more money
I
for you
Who
guys.
said that?
Karen.
Oh, okay.
I said I will
Yeah,
chat with you in the morning, and I
sounds
appreciate
good.
that you let me know too that I needed to
Yes.
get a little bit more
Yeah.
on there to stay in the same level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm writing you.
Well, thanks everybody for joining in tonight.
Thank you
Thank you,
for your
Jennings.
help. That was
Thank
good,
you,
good
Tina.
information.
Thanks,
You
Jennings.
guys
This
are
was
doing
fantastic.
awesome. There's so many great things happening. Anna, we're so excited you're with us.
Yes. Hi, Anna. Thank you
Hi,
so
Anna.
much. These discussions are so helpful.
Thank you. This was
Yeah.
really helpful.
Okay,
Great.
Thank you.
go get them, team.
Hey, Tracy, I'd be happy to come over there on Thursday if you'd like me to. Let me know.
Oh, did you see we're having coffee together?
Well, you mentioned it.
I think it's 8:30 at Infinity if you want to show up.
Hi,
Oh, that's
Christy.
exciting.
Too early.
Right.
Well, we'll talk
Night.
about it.
Good to
Okay.
see
Good night, everybody.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Can't find the end button. Tools.